Hello, Hashgraph community. Welcome back to Hashout. My name is Jim Gao. Today is September 25th, 2019. A disclaimer, I'm not an employee at Hedera. I am just a believer, a fan of the Hashgraph algorithm, and I own some HBars. In fact, I made my last purchase last night on Bittrex. So with that said, I believe for the past week and a half since OA, Hashgraph, the project, has been in crisis. And by crisis, I do not mean the price of HBars. To me, yes, the HBars reflects the underlying sentiment of the community towards the project, towards the team. But the crisis is not on the price movement, but on the trust the community puts on Hashgraph, the project, and the team. Because if the trust is still intact, even if the price of HBars collapses to zero, the team can still announce a new project, and the community, us, the community, will be totally 100% behind the new project. And the new project will rise from ashes and succeed. On the contrary, if the trust is lost from the community regarding the team and the project, even if HBAR price rises to $100, 1,000x, what good is that? Yes, the people who got involved, the people who invested, they'll all be rich. They'll be buying their yachts and drinking margaritas on a beach somewhere. But there's no one left to carry the mission, the decentralization mission, vocalized by Lehman. Because the team, the community will be shattered. So what good is a $100 price of HBAR? So to me, the most important asset of Hashgraph, the project, is not the HBars, it's not the price, it's not the valuation of the company, it's not the employees, it's not the conglomerates that join the governing council. No, it's really the community. Specifically, it's the trust the community places on Hashgraph. And that trust is eroding right now, and that is the crisis I am talking about. And in Chinese, the word crisis consists of two characters. First, the character means danger, and the second character means opportunity. And that really encapsulates the meaning of a crisis. It is half perilous times and half opportunity if you can capture it. And I think in a crisis like this, there is no such thing as over-communication from the team. The team really needs to get in front of camera and communicating with the community on what is going on. And by communication, from the team, I do not mean specifically Lehman should be stepping into the social media realm, to do PR management, crisis management. No. I mean, to me, Lehman was the reason that, I dedicated myself and my team into Hashgraph, building a DEX on Hashgraph. And to me, Lehman has is not only he has a beautiful mind that's a gift to the world, but he also has a very pure heart. It's like what Jesus said, that blessed are the pure-hearted, for they will see the kingdom of God. And unless you have the heart as pure as a child, you will not be able to see the kingdom of God. And I think he's really talking about people like Lehman. And I know it probably makes me sound like a fanboy. No, my loyalty does not lie with Hedera, the organization, does not lie with any particular individual or organization, does not even lie with the community, does not even lie with Lehman and Mans. No, my loyalty lies only with the truth. And I can say that Lehman is the most genuine person I've ever met, one of the most genuine person I've ever met, because, I actually personally met him in Hedera 18. Even though I only shook his hand and interacted with him a few sentences, a few minutes, but I could sense, call it a hunch, I could sense that he is not bogged down by the values of the world. I could sense that he does not care about money. He does not care about fame, does not care about power. He does not even care about reputation, because only hypocrites care about reputation. Lehman is someone who is too busy solving world's problems, solve the most complicated math problems, and his passion is that, and teaching people. I never personally met Mans, but because he is the lifelong friend of Lehman, he has to share the same kindred spirit as Lehman. So I have total confidence in the honor and integrity of both of the founders. And because Lehman has this pure heart, he should not be exposed to the vials and the poisons from the social media world. I remember a couple of weeks ago there was someone suggesting that we should get Lehman more involved on Twitter. I think that was not a good idea, because there's a lot of poison, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. And, Lehman, he's like the soul of Hedera, the company. And his vision encapsulates the ethos of decentralization, which is, he said eloquently, anybody in the future can carve out a space on the internet and create his own world in it. And that's what decentralization means to me personally, is to take away the influence, the power from the centralized entities, be it a government, a conglomerate, multinational corporation, or even like those social media influencers, and distribute that into the nobodies, the average folks of the world. And that's the trend we're in. That's the age of decentralization we're in. And Lehman's ideology embodies that ethos. So, Lehman should not be in front of the social media cohort and interact with them and being exposed to the negativity and poison coming from these platforms. He is in the center of the company where everybody surrounds, and everybody's role is really just to execute his vision, and that vision right now is HCS, implementing HCS. And I personally do believe HCS is the future of Hashgraph and the future of decentralization. No, when I say that the team should be communicating, I was talking about other people on the team. The Jordans and the community director. They should be out there comforting people, communicating with people. But where are they? A couple days ago, Christian, the CMO, he very frequently popped into different social media platforms and relaying, telling people that yes, the team is aware of people's concerns and they're doing everything they can to solve the problem. And I think that is great. You don't have to, in a crisis like this, you don't have to sound so eloquent. You don't have to look good. You don't even have to have a viable solution. I think in a crisis, where fear is high, where people feel a lot of doubt and uncertainty, any communication is good as long as it's honest, it's from the bottom of the heart, and it has a pure intent. People will appreciate that. People will appreciate, because people want to know that you care, that the team cares, and that's the critical thing. It's not it's not the price that gets people down. It's the question in people's mind that does the team care? Because, like the cliche goes, nobody will care how much you know unless they know how much you care. And the only way you can convey that you care is to not worry, about how good you look, how smart you sound, and just get in front of a camera and talk honestly with them. If there's legal limitations that's preventing you from communicating certain things, then level that with everyone. Say, you know what, I want to say more, but legally I can't right now. But rest assured, we're in the same boat together. That's what Christian did a couple of days ago, and it was really helpful, to the community. But I just hope that other people on the team, can step up, and to show the community that the team cares, and everybody is in the same boat together. And like I said, the crisis is made of both the perilous times and opportunity. Depends, on how the team handles this crisis. It can even turn out to be a good thing, because we're still in the early stages of Hashgraph, of the project. So maybe, if the team just come out and just start leveling with people, genuinely leveling with people, just speaking from the heart, it'll build more trust, into the community. And that's what I meant by crisis we're going through. It's not the price action. The price action could go, the price of HBAR could go to zero. But if the trust is there, we're going to build everything up from zero again. But if the trust is lost, it'll be lost forever. I know Lehman and Mance, they know this. They know this. They know that trust is something that's very fragile. It takes a long time, a lot of effort to build, and it can be shattered within a moment. And that, the founders and their values, their characters, are what drew a lot of people, myself included, into building our decentralized applications on top of Hashgraph, to invest our time, our effort, our funds into this platform. But it seems like from the past week and a half, we haven't really seen that the values, the characters of the founders had been propagating to other parts of the company. And I think unless you have a culture, a company culture that's built around, the value of Lehman, you will not have a successful decentralized company. You might become a very successful centralized company, but I don't think that's going to be the trend. I think the trend in the next 10 to 15 years will be decentralization. The next big company will be decentralized. It's not going to be a centralized like Google Uber or Facebook. It will be decentralized. And I believed, and I still believe, Hashgraph is is in a very prime position to capture that trend. But it needs to do better at handling crisis like this. And in the future, there's no doubt there will be crises like this. And I want the project to succeed. I'm not complaining or criticizing, because I invested way too much of myself financially, emotionally, personally, you know, into this project to see it fail. I want to do everything in my power to help it to succeed. But I feel like many of the team members, they're not really sensing, they're not really internalizing the concern from the community. You know, they might think that we're complaining because of the HBAR price. No, at least that's not my case. I'm concerned because the most important asset of the project, the community, and its trust itself is being corroded, and there's not adequate communication from some of the team members to the community. To me, what defines a leader is how he behaves in crisis. Yes, everybody can shine, when they're in the limelight, when everything's smooth sailing, when there is IBMs and Boeings, making announcements they're going to be part of the council. Yes, it'll be great if you get into the camera and talk fast and talk smart and look really smart. No, but that's not what defines a leader. A real leader, I think, truly shines in a moment like this, in a crisis moment like this, when HBAR is going below 3 cents, 2.5 cents, when the community is wondering what is going on, who is selling. No, that's when a true leader steps up, and they don't have to talk give an eloquent speech. Just be honest. Tell them, we're in this together. We're in this for a long haul. And fundamentally, nothing really has changed since '08, right? I mean, we still have the same council members. We still have the technology, and HCS, the SDK is coming out. Nothing really has changed except the price. And the price didn't really change the fundamentals. It did reveal a fundamental flaw of the Hedera team strategy, which was not focusing on the community. But I believe under the leadership of Lehman and Mans, the team is conscientious enough to know that that was not right. That was a mistake, and they will correct that. I believe, they will focus, more on the community in the future. If I'm wrong, it'll be really unfortunate, for me and for a lot of people who believed in this project. But I'm still in it for the long haul. I'm still buying. With that said, I check out this Forkless Cafe episode that just came out 2 days ago, and the people in there, they were talking about dApps, and there was not even mention of the 600-pound gorilla in the room, the elephant in the room, which was the price of HBAR, crashing, and people afraid. That is an example that I'm talking about. That it's almost like negative communication. In a time like this, when everybody's concern is on one thing, on where the HBAR price is going to go from here. If you come out to talk about dApps, which I think is important, but over the long term, right now dApps are not in people's mind. People are concerned about the price. But if you talk about the dApps and have no mention of the price, or at least address people's concern, it could come out as very disingenuous to the community. It's It's like if you go to a poor neighbor's house and he and his children are starving, and you know that, and all you talk about is the weather. It it's not gonna come across as a genuine concern from the team. And I hope this message reaches to the ears. I'm just the average community member. You know, nobody. But I believe, I do sense the concern of the community. And so far, the communication from Hashgraph, the organization, hasn't really, adequately addressed those concerns. And that is the crisis, we talked about. It's the erosion of the trust. The more you communicate that way, the more corrosion of community's trust it'll cause. A couple years ago, when Alibaba went public, and the CEO and founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma, came to New York City to ring the bell on NASDAQ, and afterwards he was interviewed by different media companies, and they were asking him, so how do you feel now that you're the richest man in Asia? And his reply was, yes, we are public now, and our net worth have increased tremendously. Well, that's what the public focuses on. What I see is the burden of the trust that people put in us. Now, this is a comment coming from an entrepreneur from China, supposedly a godless, communist country. And at the height of his glory, his fame, I guess, instead of talking about materialistic things, what money can buy, he's talking about trust. He's talking about values. And that is a reminder to me, myself, and I hope to Western entrepreneurs. When we issue our tokens, our coins, our stocks to people, do we feel the weight coming from the people who put their trust in us? That is all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in.